Hi everyone, it's Intang Mayumi. I have 3.5 by 3.5 Valentine's Day cards for you today. These cards are perfect to add in your kids' lunchbox. I know they will love it. To make these cards, I use Fawn My Silly Valentine stamp set. I will be using my Stamp Perfect to stamp my images, and I'm using Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock because I will color them with my Copic markers. I'm also inking them up with Gina K amalgam ink, and I'm inking them a few times to get good impression. And I love this amalgam ink that I decided to order the full-size ink pad. Thanks to my friend Cheryl because she's the one that gifted me this ink and told me to try it, and I really like it. As you can see, I flip my paper so I can stamp them again, and so I have two of each image. I'm still building up my Copic collection, so I just use the Copics that I have to color my images. I'm still learning how to use them too. I have Spectrum Noir markers, but most of them are already dried out, and I told myself not to buy refills for them and just buy Copics from now on. I will leave some music here and I will be back when the coloring is done. I cut my panels to 3 and 1/4 by 3 and 1/4 inches, and I use 140-pound Strathmore watercolor paper. I'm going to do some ink blending on my panels using Distress Oxide inks, and the colors I use are Twisted Citron, Abandoned Coral, Peacock Feathers, Ripe Persimmon, Wild Honey, Cracked Pistachio, and Wilted Violet. I blended the colors in the middle of the panels with circular motion, and after all the color blending is done, I will flick some water on the paper using a small paintbrush and dab the excess water with paper towel. I went ahead and die cut hearts on my panels using waffle flower stitch hearts die set. I used the stitch heart in the middle, and this die will die cut a tiny holes on the paper so you can stitch on it, and it is heart shaped. The stitching didn't take me a long time to do it and took my time. I actually enjoyed this part of making the card. I watched the Blacklist on Netflix while doing the stitching. I really like that show and I highly recommend it. This kind of stitching that I did is very easy. I think they call it as backstitch. I also use washi tape to hold the thread on the back of the panels. I cut my card base to 3.5 by 7 inches and score them in half at 3.5 inches. The card base I use is Recollections 110-pound rose petals cardstock from Michaels. And I'm just using my Martha Stewart scoring tool and Bone folder to score them. After the scoring is done, I will adhere the panels on the card base using liquid glue. I pull out my Stamp Perfect again to use for stamping my sentiments. The sentiments I use is from the same stamp set, my Silly Valentine stamp set. The ink I'm using to stamp the sentiments is Kaleidocolor Tomato Vine ink. I use my Stamp Perfect so I can stamp a few times if I need to. I like a crisp stamp sentiments or image on my cards, that's why. For the inside of the cards, I stamped the sentiment Happy Valentine's Day with the same ink that I use in front of the cards. I place the sentiment in the middle and you will still have a lot of space to write your message for your kids. I will adhere the colored images using foam tape in the middle of the stitch heart. And lastly, I use my Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen to add shimmer on my cute images. And my Valentine's Day cards or lunch notes or whatever you want to call it are finished. I had so much fun stitching the hearts on my cards. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.